Good morning. If it's morning, it's probably night. If you're watching this, it's probably night, but whatever. I wanted to make this video to help you guys get through your homework and to help you study for the quiz, which is Monday. So if you're watching this, great. I'm glad you are, and I hope you find it helpful. Definitely let me know if there's anything I can do differently to make it work out better for you. Plenty of room down in the comments, right? You can type whatever. And I'll try to respond to you, let you know. Anyway, yeah, let's get going. And forgive me if this is weird. I don't think I've used my drawing tools to use the constructions and stuff, but hopefully I'll figure it out as I go. Anyway, let's go ahead to homework 11 first. I'll go through all of these. Obviously, if you don't need to know how to do numbers 1, 2, 3, fast forward the video, right? Go to the ones you don't know how to do. That's the beauty of having these videos. If you do need help with number 3 and it still doesn't make sense, rewind, watch it again, right? As I do numbers 1 and 2, if you think you understand what's going on, click pause on the video. Try to do number 3 for yourself and don't watch it until you've done it yourself and see if you did it right. That's going to be the best way to get the most out of these videos is, really trying it yourself, then watch me. If you watch me and you don't understand what I'm doing, then rewind me and watch me again. Don't sit there listening to me talk about stuff that you do know that you already know. Just fast forward me, okay? But anyway, let's do this. Let's see how it goes. So to do this, I'm going to need my tools. So I hope you've got your compass handy. Here's mine. You're going to need a straight edge as well. I'll try to use the actual built-in ruler, but this ruler is kind of a pain to use, so I might just use my straight line drawing tool as well, but either way should be fine. So anyway, when we're constructing a segment, we always want to start by just drawing a line. So for that, you take your ruler. Don't get caught thinking your line has to be perfectly horizontal or anything. I often will draw mine a little bit crooked on purpose, just to show that it really doesn't matter. So then I'll just draw my line. That's too thick for my tastes. I'm going to keep it skinny. I'm going to draw a line. There we go. We can see that we're trying to draw a line that's called AB. So I would label this line now with a point A on it. Uh-oh. Ooh, sorry. My pad isn't plugged in. Hold on. 1 second. There we go. All right, now I can label it A. And then I have to find point B, knowing that the line segment I'm supposed to draw is supposed to be a length of A plus B. So for that, I can set my compass on the end of A, and I can close it up until I'm just perfectly set to the length of segment A. See that? Now I can center my compass on point A and just swing an arc. And where that arc crosses the line shows me a length of A. But I need a length of C as well, which means I'll now pick up my compass and I'll put it on the end of C. And since my compass is set to A, it's too short, but I can open it wider, wider, wider until it's perfectly at the end here. So now when I pick up my compass, some people made the mistake of centering their compass at point A again, but that's not going to work. We need this length of A. We need to go to the end of that segment and then swing out a second arc. And so now that point there is our point B, right here. And we know that's the right location for B because this first segment that we swung had a length of A. This next segment that we swung from here to here had a length of C. That means the whole thing has a length of A plus C, just like we wanted. So now for number 2, we'll do the same thing. We'll take our ruler, we'll draw a line. Let's work in blue this time. So we'll swing a line, or we'll draw a line. And then on that line we can label a point, this time called C. And this question is tricky because it has subtraction built into it, and it also has multiplication. We want to do 2B, but doing 2B is easy. That literally just means that you copy segment B twice. So I'm going to take my compass, I'm going to put it at the end of B and open it up to the other end. So I've perfectly captured the length of B. And now I just have to swing that arc twice, like I said. So I'll center on the point C that I chose, and I'll turn and I'll swing once, then I'll go to the end of that segment and I'll swing it again. Now I know that distance is a length of 2B. Now for the A, the way I think about this is, get your compass set to A. Oops. And then open your compass. There's A. What I would do now is, everything I've been swinging out to the right, out to the right. So if I want to subtract a length now, I'm going to center at the very end of my segment, and I'm going to swing an arc out to the left this time. And in that way, it's like I'm chopping off a piece of my line. And so I would say right here, that's the end. That's going to be point D. And so that segment there is our line segment. So maybe I'll highlight the part just to make it really stand out. But so this line that goes from C to D, it's only that part that we want. And hopefully that made sense. So for the last one, this one says construct a segment of length 3A. And I would say this one is easier than the last one. We already did the 2B's. So if you understood how to do the 2B's, doing the 3A's is the same. You're just going to swing out segment A 3 times. So I'm going to draw a line that I can build upon. This segment is supposed to be called EF, so I'll pick a point on it randomly, and I'll call it E. And I think my compass should already be set to the length of A from the last problem. Yeah, I'm already set to A. So I'll just take my compass, I'll center on F, and I'll swing A once. Then I'll go to that point of intersection. I'll swing A again, and then I'll go again, and I'll swing A a third time. And then that should be it. That tells me that, I'm not sure why I said F, but it doesn't matter. We could label our segment FE if we wanted to, but EF probably makes more sense. So we'll let that point be E, and then this point over here at the very end will be point F, and that's it. Those are those 3 constructions for duplicating a line segment. Okay, we did 3 different examples. Now on the next page, they're asking, oh, that's not even right. I think I clicked the wrong button. I did. They're asking you to make a triangle, and I don't think we have to worry about doing triangles for our quiz, but I'm going to run through the construction anyway, just so you guys will know it. You would start, as always, by drawing a construction line. So there's a nice big line for us to work with. Then we're trying to construct a triangle whose name is XYZ. So pick a point and call it X. Now, we're trying to make a triangle that has all 3 of these lengths. I like to make the longest side of my triangle the bottom, so that means I'm going to capture side C first. And then, once I've got that setting, I'll go to the point X that I chose and I'll swing an arc. And then that can be the first side of my triangle. So I guess XY, we'll call this point Y. And now what I know is, from the end of X, I'm going to need another line whose length is A. From the end of Y, I'm going to need another line whose length is B. And I'm going to have to somehow get them to come together and meet and touch each other. So the trick is, you use your compass to swing those arcs, and the 2 arcs will intersect each other, showing you just the right place to draw your arcs, or your lines. So I'll set myself to setting A. I'll center on point X, and I'll show all the places I could put a point to make a segment of length A. I could go anywhere on this arc, and I would have a segment of length A. But now, I also need a segment whose length is B, so I'll go to the end of B, and I'll open my compass up to the very end. And now, I'm not going to center on X this time. I want the segment whose length is B to come out of point Y, so I'll center on point Y, and I'll swing an arc. And anywhere on this arc would give me the correct length of B, so guess which point I need? Well, I need the point where they cross. The point where they cross would be just the right space. And I would mark that as point Z. That's going to be the third point of my triangle. And I now know for sure that if I use my straight edge, let's do it in blue. I know the distance from X to Y is perfect because I measured C using my compass. I know the distance from X to Z is perfect because I made this arc here, the one with all these squares on it. I made that one when I was set to the length of A, so that one's perfect. Then I know that from Y to Z has a perfect length of B because I used this arc, the one right here with all the squares on it. That one is perfect B. So I could label this now. You don't have to, but the bottom side has a length of C. I know that for sure. And then the left side, so C is here. This guy is A, and this guy is B. So triangle XYZ has just the right size lengths. So that's it for that one. Then this one says construct an equilateral triangle whose side lengths are all B. So this is pretty easy. You'll start by drawing a line, like always. Okay, I'm drawing a line. Then it doesn't say what we're going to name our triangle. Let's name it triangle QRS. So I'll pick a point and I'll call it Q. To find point R, I know it's got to be B units away. So we'll get our compass set to B. And guess what? I think I'm already set to B from the last problem, right? But double check. Yep, I am set to B. You could even show a little arc if you wanted to, just show that we're really going to the end. And we are. But now center your compass on Q, swing an arc. And we know that point of intersection is telling us where we could put point R. We know that we're set to length B, so this is our first side whose length is B. Now the next deal is we want another side from Q, we want another side from R whose sides are both B. So really I could just continue swinging this arc, frankly, and then from Q up to here we'd have a side length of B. I still want B, so I'm still not changing my compass. I'll go over to R now, I'll swing another arc. And I just want those arcs to intersect. And they do, right there. So that point must be S. And I could use my straight edge. I'm going to use this tool this time. It will be red, make it a little thicker. If I go from Q to R, that is a length of B. If I go from R up to S, that's a length of B. And from S down to Q, that's a length of B. So that triangle is a perfect equilateral triangle. Okay? How about 6? Okay, this is important. 6 is where we're talking about making a copy of an angle. Okay, so let's do this one now. To copy an angle, we are going to want to start the same way we started the other constructions, which is just by drawing a line. So let's do it in green. Draw a line. And if we're trying to copy an angle, then maybe I shouldn't call this a line. It's really going to be more like a ray. We might want to put a point at one end, arrow at the other end. And we're now basically half done, right? We want to construct angle DEF. Now remember, E would be the vertex. So E would go here. Maybe we could put point D over here. If we're trying to be angle DEF, then all we got to do now is figure out where F would go. And it's going to go somewhere here, right? Making another ray. So the steps of this construction are grab your compass. And the first thing we do is we actually have to mark up the angle we were given. We center on its vertex. We open our compass, honestly, however far you want to. Something like this would be too small in my opinion. Something out here seems great. A and C you can ignore. Those are not important points. We just want an arc that hits both sides of our angle. Now once you're done drawing that arc, you need to duplicate that arc down here, centered on point E. We need another arc here. So swing, swing, swing. Now, construction is all about finding your points of intersection, and I see one right here, and I see one here. And down here I see one too. There's that point of intersection. So the trick now is we have to find the other point of intersection on this arc that tells us where the other side of our angle would pass through this arc. And up here we've got a copy of this whole situation, right? In fact, let me try something for a second. This might actually be helpful to you guys. Group all that, make it kind of see-through. We've got a copy of this angle already, right? So if I put this thing here, kind of turn it, you can see that what we're after is this other point of intersection. So we can get that. Let me slide this back up to where it was basically. Maybe make it less see-through. Whoops, that's more see-through. But the trick is going to be that since we already know the distance between these two blue points on the original, we have to open our compass a little bit. What we're going to do is grab that distance. Now that distance between those 2 points has to be the same distance that would go between these 2 blue points. So we center on this point of intersection, and swinging an arc tells us where our other point would have to be. It would be right there at the point of intersection. So let's do it. Let's put that other blue arc, or put this next blue point on that blue arc. And then that's it. We're done. We can now take our ruler, and we know that our ray has to come from point E. So we line our ruler up with point E, and we line our ruler up with that point of intersection that we just found, and then we draw a line. And we know that what we've got is a perfect copy of our angle. Rats. Come on. Oh, come on. That's not a thing? Alright, let me redo that and try that again. Draw. I think that worked. So there's my other side of my angle. So there is a perfectly copied angle. Hopefully that process makes sense. You guys got to remember those steps, okay? Let's keep going. That was 6. Here's 7. This one's asking you to construct another whole triangle. This is still good practice because part of the process is to duplicate this angle. So let's make sure we remember how. The first step we said was draw a line. So we will. There's our line. We got to pick a point on that line. I'm going to pick the end, and it's going to be A. Now the first thing we want to do is duplicate angle A. So that means centering your compass on the vertex of A, opening up to any size you want as long as it's going to hit the angle twice, and then swing an arc. So there's my arc that hits the angle twice. Now I want to make sure that I make a perfect copy of that angle, of that arc, centered down here at point A. So I'll swing my arc a little bit that way, a little bit this way. There's a perfect copy. And then the important part again, if you remember me saying so, was we now want these points of intersection. So here's one, here's one. I'm going to reset my compass to the distance between those points. But then I've already got a point of intersection down here. So I'm going to reset my compass. It doesn't look like I'll have to change it by much, but I do have to change it some. So as I center on this, we're close. We do have to change our compass the tiniest bit to make it fit nicely. Okay. So now that it's a perfect fit, I can drop down to the point of intersection that I found, and while I'm centered there, I'll swing an arc. That arc is going to cross my original arc, and so now I can connect the dots and make a perfect copy of my angle. Oops. Right through there. Beef that up too. So there's a copy of my angle. Now it says we want a side whose length is AC. So you'll center on A. I guess I'll center on C, and I'll open up to A. Perfect. Then we can center on A here and swing an arc up here. That'll show us where point C would have to be. This point of intersection tells us the length of side AC, so that point there must be point C. And then I can do the same with AB. I'll set my compass equal to that. So once I'm set to that, I can go ahead and center on point A again and swing an arc that tells me where point B would have to fall. And so we can see that point B would be right here. And now finally we can connect those dots. I'm going to connect everything in green. So when I connect C to B, that's part of our triangle. And then B to A, that's part of our triangle. A to C, there's our third side. So there's our triangle. So we copied the angle, copied a segment AC onto one side of the angle, copied another segment AB onto the other side of the angle. That gave us our full triangle. And I think that's it for this homework assignment. So I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to have one video per homework. So if you need 11, you'll watch this video. 17 is going to be its own video. 19, 21 will all be their own videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. If this was helpful, it would be nice to hear that it was helpful. So I hate to be that YouTube guy that says, you know, like and subscribe. I'm not going to say that, but you know, if you were to write a comment that just said, hey, this was useful, thank you, something like that, that's good encouragement. That lets me know that this is worth my time to make these videos. So anyway, I hope it was, and I'll see you in class on Monday. Bye.